Luis Salazar, who starts what appears to be a routine 6-4-3 DP, but Jack Clark spots Kevin Bass motoring from third, a triple play. Ken Griffey Jr. of the Mariners, running deep to the warning track, makes a complete spin and fires a strike to third to nail Lou Whitaker. Two Orioles dive for it, and Brady Anderson comes up with a nifty one-handed juggling catch. On to the painful play. Rafael Belliard makes the grab in traffic and picks up the spare. The squeeze play is on. Orlando Mercado gets jolted by Glenn Hubbard, but holds on for the out. Then Mercado throws to first for the double play. Pete Incaviglia smashes one off the chest of Jeff Ballard, but Ballard recovers, gets the out. Playing out of position, shortstop Craig Reynolds in left makes the nice grab and throws on the run to get Chris Gwynn at the plate. Time now for some outstanding outs. For the first out, let's go in to the Astrodome. Jose Rijo makes a no-look behind the back grab. Jeff Hamilton foils a Dan Schatzeder pitch, but Glenn Davis goes fencing for it. Twins pitcher Roy Smith with the kick save and a beauty. And he gets the out. George Bell leaps high to rob a home run from Randy Milligan. You know he can hit home runs, but here Mickey Templeton wins an award for his defensive skill. And finally, the Let's Give Him a Hand award to San Francisco sensation Kevin Mitchell for a catch which may set the art of glove making back a few years.
In my entire life, I've never seen that happen. You gotta be kidding me. Gotta be the play of the year.
Yes, strong start for the first half of this season. You know, Anaheim is not only the site of this 1989 All-Star game, it is also the site of the longest All-Star game ever played. That was 22 years ago to the day. That was the 1967 Marathon Midseason Classic, a game that was won by the National League in 15 innings. Anaheim Stadium was only 1 year old when the best of baseball gathered for the 1967 All-Star game. It was initially billed as a power show, but turned out to be a battle of pitching and defense instead. 12 different pitchers combined for 30 strikeouts, and the game's 3 runs came as a result of solo homers. Tony Perez delivered the winning blast for the Nationals in the top of the 15th. And joining us now is one of baseball's all-time great sluggers, Harmon Killebrew. Harmon, thanks very much for coming on. What do you remember most about that 67 All-Star game?
Marv, well, the thing that I remember that ball game, of course, was the great pitching, both by the American and the National League, great defense, and I happened to set a record in that All-Star game with 15 putouts at first base.
Well, it was a stellar defensive performance for you, but what about that 0 for 6 at the plate?
Marv, I've got to go now. I'll see you later, okay?
Thanks very much, Harmon. All right, we're joined now by the American League catcher who caught all 15 innings in that game, Bill Freehan of the Detroit Tigers. Bill, what do you remember most about all the strikeouts in the ball game?
Well, Marv, I think the thing I remember most was the length, but also the difficulty that the hitters were having in seeing. It was an evening ball game, and it was hazy. Couple that with the fact that there was an American League umpire by the name of Ed Runge who had a very wide strike zone and an outstanding pitching staff on both sides. I think all those factors really drew things together and made it the classic game that it was.
But, Bill, you also had a rough day at the plate. I believe it was an 0 for 5?
Marv, I don't think I heard your question. Anyway, I've got to go. Harmon needs me.
Folks, we apologize. Apparently there's been some miscommunication. With us right now is the perennial All-Star third baseman from the Baltimore Orioles, Brooks Robinson. Now, Brooks, you accounted for that only American League run by connecting for a home run off Ferguson Jenkins. What memories stand out in your mind from the 67 All-Star game?
Well, Marv, I have several memories. Number one, hitting a home run to give the American League its only run and tying up the game. That was very exciting. And then to go on, and it was a long afternoon. A lot of strikeouts, hard to see the ball when you start a game at 5:30, and then to having the game end on a Tony Perez, a long home run.
That brings me to an interesting point, Brooks. You not only lost that All-Star game, but you lost 14 other All-Star games. How do you explain losing a record 15 All-Star games?
I'm sorry, Marv, but I hear Harmon calling me. I got to go.
Well, there you have it. A comprehensive, compelling look back at the 1967 All-Star game. We'll be back with more of the All-Star Albert Achievement Awards in a moment. Was it me?
Some people still haven't tried A&W cream soda. We know who you are.
Trish, have you seen my blue shirt?
Hi, I'm going to be living with you until you try an A&W cream soda.
Trish!
It's so smooth and mellow. Ooh-wee. Do I smell dinner?
Who's that?
So you have a choice. Try a regular or diet A&W cream soda. Or try living with this man. Pour yourself an A&W cream soda.
My athlete's foot kept flaring up. Put it out, it just flare up again. Then my doctor told me about Tenactin. It cures recurring athlete's foot. Use it regularly. It'll keep the fire from coming back.
Tenactin puts the fire out for good.
Electricity? Hey, no problem. Want to know any more? Ask Ace. That's what I do.
The Intermatic programmable timer is just $3.97, and its lightweight angle broom is a best buy, just $147.
Hey, Ace is the place for me.
Down here, a paint's worst enemy is the blazing sun. That's why the great American home of Henry Ford is being protected with new Sears Advanced Formula Weather Beater. It's the most durable paint we've ever offered. After all, for over 12 years, Weather Beater has maintained the home next door of Ford's close friend, Thomas Edison. Chances are it's on your neighbor's house, too. Sears Weather Beater. Great low prices, Weather Beater durability. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
I want to be like an artist, make different kinds of things. It's fun to draw. It's kind of like you can draw anything. Like if I'm drawing a rainbow or something, I just think that someday I can get to walk on a rainbow, so.
Remember the dreams you had. How are you doing? Talk with a personal financial planner from IDS. Yes, IDS, because dreams don't happen by themselves.
The Albert Achievement Awards are brought to you by today's Duracell, the copper top battery. And now for more awards, let's go back to Marv Albert.
It hasn't always been the case, but the starters in the All-Star game are selected by the fans. The fans choose their favorite players based on performances they see at stadiums across the country. For that reason, the All-Star Albert Achievement Awards provides a special salute to all baseball fans, for they too perform heroic deeds.
In the widely practiced sport of being a baseball fan, it is a rare achievement to catch the big one, a foul ball. If the big one gets away, it's even less likely you'll get another bite.
Down the left field line, and it's caught by a fan. Foul ball, but the same guy, isn't it?
Yeah, he finally got one. He missed that other one, but he got the ball this time.
Some fans go to great lengths to get a foul ball, and with the prize at hand, a victory dance often follows. But if the judge doesn't like your dance, you lose the ball. The quest for a foul ball may turn good friends into savages. But two strangers can settle ownership disputes both gentlemanly and quarterly.
Oh, he flipped a coin. How about that? And the guy won, and he gave up the ball.
That's a classic. What a deal.
Thank you very much.
There are times when you need a little help from your friends, but even the best of friends can sometimes come up a little short. Cub fans have their own sport. It's called throw the opposition's home run ball back on the field. Well done, son. This is not to say that Cub fans don't have the necessary skills to catch these balls. Witness this catch by a fan. He plays the ricochet off the wall, avoids the tree. Yes! But if it's not hit by one of their Cubbies, the Wrigley faithful have a way of relaying a certain message. Thanks, but no thanks.
Now you know why the word fan is derived from the word fanatic. On the subject of fanatic, recently I spent a week one day with baseball fan and comedian Richard Lewis.
Richard, I've known you for a long time, and I get the feeling, knowing that you're a big sports fan, baseball seems to be #1 in your heart.
Well, it is. I mean, because it's like seeing a play or a movie every time you go to the stadium. Like unlike like wrestling, for example. I used to like wrestling when I was a kid, but I can't buy it. I need to have some drama. I know when I go to a wrestling match and it's Coco the Strangler versus Nathan the Bedridden Jew, what's going to happen? You know what I mean? There's no extra innings in that. But baseball, there's all these, like, you need computers and the numbers and the stats. That's why I love baseball.
How about the All-Star game? Does it have any special meaning to you?
Well, I love the All-Star game because in my own life I'm very ambivalent, with relationships, and so this is like the greatest game for me. Who to vote for, because I'm very ambivalent. Even my childhood, my uncle. You remember my Uncle Saul?
Yeah, very well.
He had a jewelry store. He actually had a poster in his shop. Guard dog might be on premises. We can't make decisions. Well, the thing about the All-Star game, I want the teams to care. I want them to win. There was a couple of shots a few years ago in the bullpen. One of the relief pitchers brought a potter's wheel with them, so they weren't really into the game. I want them to want to win. And of course, I've been in therapy, and one of the gauges when I know I'm healthy is when I really vote for the right players. Like for a few years, I was 3 years in a row, from '68 to '71, I voted for Gene Krupa to play center field on the American League. So now that I'm voting for the real players, I know I'm getting healthier.
Who are your favorite All-Star players as you look back?
Well, there's so many more, as you know. But for me, my favorite All-Star has to be Philippe Alou, for a number of reasons. He inspired me to get into comedy, because I'm very eccentric. I have a lot of nervous habits. But Philippe, he's the king. He's my idol. He would, he'd be waiting to go to bed, right? He would bring a little hibachi with him. He had a cowbell on. He had to ring that a couple times. He made sandwiches for friends. It took him about an hour to get up to the plate. So for that reason alone, Philippe Alou is my #1. #2, I guess, has to be the Babe. And I've been studying the Babe a lot lately. The Babe is the greatest. I've been watching a lot of documentaries on the Babe, and I wish I lived to see him play once, because I feel there's a conspiracy to make the Babe, although he is the king, look better than he is, because I've never seen him feel the ground ball in right field. I think he had the Ruthettes that would run in there. Oh, we'll get it, Babe, we'll get it. And he was eating hot dogs and pizza. They'd throw it in for him. When they show him point in that famous game, the World Series against the Cubs, they have this thing in the documentary. They zoom into a finger. It's E.T.'s. It's E.T.'s finger. It's not the Babe's. It's not the Babe's finger.
Were you a jock as a kid?
As much as I could be. I was in the minor leagues in Little League. I was in the T-ball league, which is a demeaning league. I mean, it's so set up. They put a tee, and they put the ball, and you just sort of, you hit it with a bat. But the thing that was so crazy, we had one of the fathers who later went to a mental health facility. He would stand on the mound and make believe he was pitching, and he would pitch, without a ball. The ball was already like Houdini was pitching. It was frightening. And then the pressure was, I quit because the pressure was too great. I mean, it was all true, all that stuff about parents putting too much pressure on kids at an early age. I mean, my relatives would come and scream and heckle, and my mother says, look, I know you're only 8, I know you have emotional problems, I know you're just starting, 3rd grade, but I know it's a big game for you, but Grandma is flying in from Russia. And they flew her in on a helicopter, and she sat in a bubble behind center field with a little Met hat on. It was a sad kind of... That was before the Mets were in existence. My grandmother knew what was going on.
And so to Richard Lewis, we give the most bizarre fan award. And we'll be back with more of the All-Star Albert Achievement Awards after this.
Oh, this is great. No fruits, no nuts, no marshmallows. You call this a cereal? Looks like a bestseller to me. I mean, there's nothing here but flakes. It's so simple. I like it. Hey, maybe that's the point. I mean, they'd mess it up if they added other stuff to it. Nice cereal.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Corn Flakes?
Taste them again for the first time.
Give me the ball! Give me the ball! Give me the ball!
You got a thirst.
Give me the ball! Give me the ball! Give me the ball!
You know what you need.
Give me the ball!
Fluids and minerals fast.
Give me the ball!
Energy for hard-working muscles.
Ray!
Nothing's better. that Gatorade.
The Corlick sisters on Denny's Grand Slam breakfast specials.
They just served me 2 Grand Slam breakfasts for the price of 1 special. You didn't get 2 breakfasts. There's 2 of everything on my plate. That's what a Grand Slam special comes with. Well, of course it comes with a plate. I mean, the special price includes 2 of everything. How come I didn't get 2 plates? Because you only ordered 1 breakfast. Well, why do you think I was so surprised to get 2? They usually don't make mistakes here at Lenny's. Denny's.
Try one of our Grand Slam breakfast specials from $2.99, only at Denny's.
My Toyota.
With the 1989 Camry, you get the reassurance of Toyota's reputation for quality, reliability, and dependability. And that can mean a great deal when the only thing between where you are and where you want to be is a lonely road.
My Toyota, I love it. Who could ask for anything more?
And now, back to the All-Star Albert Achievement Awards.
Now, let's move on to what we like to consider the high point of the show, the All-Star Albert Achievement Awards for the best bloopers to date this 1989 baseball season. We begin with the best bumps and bruises. Roberto Alomar fouls a pitch off his face. Ouch. Dick Schofield's throw to first nails Omar Vizquel on the helmet. Corey Snyder wishes he had eyes and a mitt in the back of his head. We move to the I'd Rather Be on Special Teams Award to none other than Bo Jackson, who shows that even Superman has rough days at the office. I don't think Superman played on wet grass, though. Go ahead, Bo, just do it. Next up, the Not My Best Stuff Award, reserved for the brave men of the mound. To Brian Holman of the Mariners for his pitch to the East Bronx. Check out the unique delivery of Mike Maddox trying to avoid a balk. Home plate umpire John Shulock has already been hit twice this game, and he gets hit again by Gary Milkey. That's what happens when you get in Milky's way. So how do umpires defend themselves? They strike back. That's how. This one coming from veteran Doug Harvey. Is there a doctor in the house? Now for the Off the Beaten Base Path Award to Dodger Willie Randolph, who considers a shortcut to the dugout and then thinks better of it. And Tim Raines, who on this round trip just reaches his destination. The most embarrassing play is one of our more popular awards. To Chris Sabo, who flies out and who flies down. Frank White, in a relaxing moment, uses Rich Gedman as a sofa. Steve Sachs tags second base ump Rick Reed, then throws to first to double up the first base coach. And now the award for best effort. One winner is Astro Ken Caminiti, who goes to great lengths to miss this foul ball. But Lee Mazzilli shows he's the cream of the crop. Vanishing cream, that is. We move from the bloopers to the weird and wacky plays of 1989. First, the weirdest pregame ceremonies. In Atlanta, they send out the clowns. Only problem, they couldn't find how to send them back in. How do you follow an act like the Clydesdales? With big shovels, of course. But you saw that coming. Old-timers games make for the best pregame. Here, Dick Dietz shows that collisions just ain't what they used to be. For the first time, the Like Father, Like Son Award to the Griffeys for the similar way they play the game. Here, Ken Sr. demonstrates the fine art of reaching first base. And Ken Jr. shows that the nut doesn't fall far from the tree. We move to the Keep Your Eye on the Ball Award. Watch carefully as the bat, the runner, and the ball arrive at third base at the same time.
Gary Hatcher wins for accuracy as his ball lands in the bag. Bip Roberts must make a very difficult choice. But then Bip is used to playing the bench. Mitch Webster of the Cubs rips a fair ball into the right field corner, but it takes a detour into the Giants bullpen. One of the reasons the Giants are so solid this year, they have a good lefty closer. Now an award that defies Mother Nature, the Lightning Strikes Twice Award. Yankees in Oakland, fly ball to left center field. Roberto Kelly dives for the ball, but it hits him in the head and rolls into the corner. Only a good relay and a bad slide prevent an inside-the-park home run. 4 days later, Yanks in Seattle. Another fly ball to left center. Kelly dives, hits him in the head again, and rolls away. But no good relay, no bad slide, an inside-the-park home run. Roberto, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. We move ahead to the Lest We Forget Award for the forgettable plays of the year. The first recipient, Claudell Washington of the Angels. Now Claudell makes the easy catch and right, then fires a strike to the plate. Only problem, there were 3 outs. And who said umpires never forget?
Bob Engel thinks it's strike 3. Robert, you're thinking about that favorite restaurant. The count is 3-2. Bob Engel embarrassed this time.
Here's another forgettable situation. Game tied with 2 out of the bottom of the 9th. Ernest Flyles breaks for second, tries to score from first when the throw gets away. Did anybody notice the batter struck out to end the inning? So Dykstra's perfect throw is the 4th out of the inning. Coming up next, a special award to a player who's had a hand or two in the success of the Albert Achievement Award. And how about a hand for all of this year's winners?
And I, right from the outset, said, no, I'm not going to play. I've retired from the game. I have my reasons. There'd be nothing to gain by me playing in the game. Plus, I'd be taking the spot of a guy that really deserved to be there.
How do you think you'll feel watching one last All-Star game in uniform, but from the bench?
Well, I won't have the butterflies that I would normally have. I'll be sitting in here talking to the players, rooting them on. I know the National League takes this game very seriously, and I want to be helping them with my enthusiasm in the dugout. And I don't want to have to hit against Dave Stewart and Nolan Ryan.
Especially not in this twilight. So a last hurrah for Mike Schmidt, and the next step, he says, is broadcasting. A certain Hall of Famer in another sport, Bill Walsh of the 49ers, is headed for the broadcast booth, too.
Yes, Bob, the man who coached 3 Super Bowl championship teams during the course of the 80s will be joining Dick Enberg in the booth to comprise NBC's #1 NFL broadcast team. So the coach of the 80s in the NFL is joining NBC Sports, and we are delighted about it.
Look, Marv, face it, everybody wants to be a sportscaster, including former President Reagan. Here we see Ronald Reagan moments ago in the clubhouse trying to pick up some last-minute tidbits and anecdotes before working the first inning with Vin and Tom.
Mike Moore, Jeffrey Leonard, Gary Gaetti, Mark McGuire.
They're off. But unlike Bill Walsh, former President Reagan has not been signed to a long-term deal. Instead, we've inked him for only a single inning, and he will work the first. Now let's say hello to some of the people that President Reagan will be talking about, along with Vin Scully and Tom Seaver, as we go to Denver.